What is going on, friends? Super late start to the vlog today. It is disgusting outside. It is a wonderful 35 degrees and constant rain all day here in beautiful Portland, Oregon. I got something planned that I wanted to do tonight anyway, so it worked out that I really didn't have a whole lot going on today, but stick around because I, after about a year, have two things that I want to share with you. One is not that big of a deal to you, and two is I want to show you all of my vlogging equipment because I've never done that before. It's kind of a little fear of mine. So stay tuned and we're gonna go get some food. I'll talk to you very soon. So see you soon. Bye. Hey, you're still here. Okay, so I told you I was going to share two things with you. The first one you wouldn't really care about too much, and the second one being all of my vlog gear. So, the first thing that you won't really care about is that Timbers games are going to be starting up soon. So, the kind of schedule that I've been trying to keep to of Monday and Friday uploads may change a little bit depending on match schedules and things like that. So, I will do my best to keep you up on any changes that happen. Okay, so I have never really shared with you too much of my gear because I have always kind of held to the small YouTuber mantra that, you know, that the story is king, which it is. It 100% is. But I'm a grown-up and I enjoy buying nice camera equipment. Not always the most expensive, not always the flashiest, but stuff that works for me. And so now I feel like I'm comfortable enough in my own skin that I'm ready to share my equipment with you. I've seen a few of my friends doing this and I was like, you know what? It's time to do it. So I'm gonna do it. So the first thing that I would like to share with you is actually the first camera I bought, which if you've been following the vlog for a long time, you've seen, and that is the Canon SL1. It's not going to focus on that because it likes my face. This is the Canon SL1. It's a DSLR. It is about, this model itself is about 3 years old, but it came out around the same time as the T5i came out and has a lot of the same specs as the T5i, but you can see on the back here, the screen doesn't rotate out. It is, however, a touchscreen, and it does have the selective autofocus so that, you know, when I'm looking at something, lens cap, so that when I'm looking at something and I zoom in or whatever, I can just touch the screen and it will focus on whatever I touch. So it's a really, really high quality DSLR in a very small package. It's really, really small. In fact, the model being SL1 actually stands for smallest, lightest. The second thing that I have did not come with this camera. I actually had to buy it extra, buy it after the fact, is the Canon 10mm to 18mm lens. You can see it really doesn't zoom a whole lot. But it is a super wide angle lens. To give you some perspective, I am about a half arm's length away from this camera's lens, and this is 16mm. So 10mm is like this. It's crazy wide. It's awesome for vlogging. You can get multiple people in the shots, and yeah, it's a great lens. Like I mentioned before, this camera came out about the same time as the T5i, which was when Canon really hit their stride for autofocus in video, continuous autofocus in video, and this lens pairs well with this camera and with some of the newer Canons, but this lens is almost silent as far as autofocus goes, which, if you know anything about DSLRs, is a big problem because a lot of DSLRs are really loud when they're focusing. Mirrorless cameras don't really have that issue. They're almost completely silent, if not completely silent. So anyway, this was the first camera I bought. This was the second lens I bought because I didn't know what I was doing. it didn't come with a lens, and I didn't know what I was doing. So the first lens I actually bought was this one. This is the Canon 40mm STM lens. And if you've been following the vlog for a long time, you know that I bought these pretty much at the same time, and that I was really disappointed when I tried to vlog with this thing. But 40mm, while it's still considered a kind of a wide angle lens, it is not good for vlogging. It is not good for vlogging. This is a fantastic picture taking lens. It's a really good video lens if your subject is a little bit farther away from you. It does take good still photos, really super close up, and the aperture on this lens is actually f2.8. So it's a really good lens for getting those really super nice blurry backgrounds. Fun fact, the technical term for that blurry background is bokeh, B-O-K-E-H, and Webster's Dictionary just added that to their dictionary this week. Okay, next, I'm just like every other vlogger out there who has watched any other vlogger and then started vlogging, in that I use GorillaPods. This is the hybrid GorillaPod. It's got the little bubble level thingy on it. And this is the GorillaPod SLR Zoom. It's made for smaller DSLRs and mirrorless cameras. And I mean, if you're watching this, you've probably already watched vlogs before, and you know that GorillaPods are super useful. They bend, they move around. Both of these actually have ball heads on them, so they're super flexible. They're really good. I use this one for smaller cameras for my point and shoot, and sometimes for my mirrorless. And then I use this one on the SLR and for the mirrorless sometimes if I just want a little bit more, a little bit farther away. Anyway, so GorillaPods, get some. Alright, so when I'm shooting video with the Canon camera, SLR cameras are notoriously bad at one thing, and that is audio. So if you want to have usable audio in your vlogs and you're using a DSLR, you really need to invest in a microphone. I don't know about you, but I have gotten turned off to vlogs before because the audio is so bad. It's not even passable, it's just bad. So to go along with a really super small camera, I have a really super small microphone. This is the Rode Video Micro. It is the smallest shotgun mic that I have seen. That doesn't mean there aren't others. If you know of another one, leave me a comment. But it fits really well. That's a pretty decent little size vlogging setup. It's not bad, it's not too intrusive. Obviously the fuzzy wind muff looks kind of weird, dead cat, whatever you want to say. But it's a nice little vlogging rig. I take this when I travel. This is my preferred one. I really like this lens, I really like this body, and it was just the first one I bought, so I love it, it's mine. The next thing I want to show you is actually my GoPro. This is the Hero 5 Session. This is the one that came out this year. It has image stabilization, it has an improved microphone, it's waterproof just in the shell, and I have it on actually on a GorillaPod adapter so that I can vlog with it or wrap it around something or whatever I need to do with it. Most people know what's going on when they see a GoPro, so these aren't surprising to see. So yeah, Hero 5 Session. Okay, next thing is actually my point and shoot, and you might have seen this if you've been around the vlog for a while. This is the Sony RX100. This is actually the Mark I. This is the oldest of the RX100s. They're now on the Mark V, and the Mark V I think is like $1,100 or something. It's a fantastic camera, don't get me wrong. Lots of vloggers use these every day as their main shooter, and it's a fantastic camera. It's got a huge sensor. It's got a 1-inch sensor, which is the same size as some much more expensive cameras. This is an all metal aluminum body. It's got a focus ring, which is super nice. You've got manual video control. It's got stereo audio. What else? It's got face tracking, which is super nice. This is a great camera. If you're in the market for a vlogging camera and maybe you've just been using your phone, you're ready to take a step up, you're not sure if you want to get a DSLR, you're not sure if you want to get a mirrorless camera, the Sony RX100 Mark I, you can still get these new. You can still get these new on Amazon. I want to say the last time I checked, a new one of these on Amazon was for $398, US at least. It's a great camera, really nice wide. And that's at arm's length. You can see it's doing the face tracking there as I move around. Keeps my face in focus. This is a great camera. I cannot recommend it enough. I'm of the opinion that the Sony RX100s are faster autofocusing and just a little bit above the Canon G7Xs. That's my opinion. I know that some people like the Canons more, some people like the Sonys more. Ever since I got this camera, I've been sold on Sony, so I don't foresee myself going back. This is, like I said, this is the Mark I. It doesn't have a flip-up screen, but I trust the autofocus on this implicitly. Okay, so I've got actually one more camera that I want to show you, and it's actually the newest one that I have. It is the Sony Alpha Series A5000. I got a crazy good deal on this camera. Best Buy had an enormous sale, and I picked this up for $150 off the retail price with the kit lens. So this is Sony's Alpha Series, like I said. It is a mirrorless camera, interchangeable lenses, like a DSLR, but it also has this nice flip-up screen. I would say overall, so far with this camera, I'm happy. I would say it's adequate for what I paid for it. It does really good video, like all of the other Sony mirrorless cameras and like all of the other Sony point-and-shoot cameras, the higher quality ones at least. It's got really, really good face tracking autofocus, really keeps my face in focus. And with a vlog, that's really what you're going for. You really want to keep your face in focus because it's really super annoying to watch vlogs that are all out of focus the whole time. And like I said, it is part of the Alpha series of the E-mount lenses. So, find other lenses that you like and put them on there. This is a pretty good camera. It has an updated version, the A5100, which is kind of what I was wanting, but this came up on sale and I really didn't want to turn it down. And I may end up getting the 5100 at some point, who knows. Honestly, I'll probably jump from this to the A6500 or an A7 in the future at some point. But anyway, this is my Canon Alpha 5000. It's a great daily shooter for video. One thing I would like to say about Sony cameras, if you're considering ever getting one, is on the sides here and here, they come with a camera little bracket for straps, and Sony gives you a strap in the bag, which if you're shooting video, you have almost no use for that. If you're just filming yourself, you're probably never going to be using a strap. That's not to say you won't, because I mean, you might like it, but it's really not for me. So I just used some electrical tape and taped them down. That was right after I bought the camera because I wanted to start shooting with it almost immediately. And I kind of like the way it looks. I don't know, I'm just weird like that. Sony Alpha 5000, interchangeable lenses, flip-up screen. The kit lens, one last thing about this kit lens does have optical image stabilization. So when you're walking around, you're not going to get the extreme shakiness because this lens kind of compensates for your shaking a little bit. Not the best I've ever seen, not nearly as good as the Canon 10 to 18 image stabilization, but it's pretty good. It's passable. Okay, so the last thing that I'm going to share with you is actually this. This is the DJI Phantom 3 drone. There's not a whole lot special about this. This is pretty much the bottom rung, bottom of the barrel drone at this point. It's about I think this model is 2 or 3 years old. They've got a lot more now. However, I got this on Black Friday for like $200 off. It was something that I had been wanting to invest in because the pictures that this thing produces are just straight up immaculate. They're incredible. I've only flown it once or twice and I love it. It's super scary to fly, but it's a lot of fun, and they make it kind of idiot proof for you your first few times. It's really difficult to crash this unless you're just trying to. But anyway, so this is my drone, Phantom 3. If you're thinking about getting a drone, I highly suggest getting an extra battery, because in the Phantom 3 at least, this battery only lasts like 24 minutes, I think, and it takes about 2 hours to charge this from empty to full. So highly recommend that. But anyway, DJI Phantom 3, standard, nothing crazy special, but it's a great drone. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed, this little look into my my vlog gear. As everybody who does a gear haul, overview, whatever, will tell you, YouTube is more about the story you can produce and the story that you can present to your audience than any amount of gear that you can buy. I like having nice stuff, so this is the stuff that I use. That doesn't mean that it's right for everybody, but it works for me, and it's something that I enjoy. Photography and videography is something that I've really gotten into over the last year, and I'm really having a great time with it. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you found this informative. I'm worried this is going to be really long, but I will do my best to edit it down. Speaking of editing, what do I use to edit? I use Adobe Premiere Pro. Leave me a comment if you have any questions about any of this gear. I will try my best to have Amazon links to as many things as I possibly can. I hope whenever you're watching this, you had a wonderful day. I know I did. I enjoy bringing these videos to you. I enjoy connecting with you in the comments. And it's been a wonderful, almost 1 full year on YouTube. And I owe it all to you, Tube. Anyway, as always, I hope you're having a wonderful day whenever you watch this. Find someone you love, tell them you love them. Peace. And be good to each other. Till next time, we'll see you soon. Bye.